Hello friends, it's Shan here. Welcome back to Golf with Shan. In today's video and in honor of 2023, I am going to be answering 23 frequently asked questions about me. This video was recommended by a few of you in the comments, as well as my friends and family in real life. I think it is about time for me to share a little more about me with you guys, especially my subscribers and people that have been my fans since the beginning. Thank you so much for sticking around. This video, the questions will be split into 4 sections. I'm going to have personal questions leading into golf questions, leading into travel and YouTube. Hopefully by the end of this video, you guys will have a better sense of who I am because you guys deserve to know me a little bit better. Let's get started with number 1, my most frequently asked question on the golf course, and that is, where are you from? Where are you really from? As in, what is my background? And I also get asked a lot if I am Korean. I am from Toronto, Ontario. This is where I live. I am Chinese Canadian. My family is from China, so I'm not Korean. I have had a lot of Koreans come up to me on the golf course and speak Korean to me, and I just stare back at them because I don't understand. First of all, I don't get offended by any of this, okay? I actually think it's a compliment because so many Koreans play golf and so many of them are actually good at golf, so it's almost a compliment that they think I'm Korean, but I'm not. I'm Chinese. And the follow-up to that is usually, do you speak Chinese? I speak Mandarin Chinese and English. Mandarin is the first language I learned. English is the second language I learned, but English is my primary language. Mostly because all of my formal schooling have been in English, and so I am more comfortable professionally in English, but I do speak Mandarin fluently for like everyday stuff. Third question is, how old are you? Or how young am I? I've been asked this question a lot. Every time I'm on the golf course, people are curious what my age is. Yeah, I understand the question. I am 24. I am turning 25 this year. I was born in 1998, which makes me a tiger in the Chinese zodiac. That is also why I have a tiger head cover in my golf bag. Obviously, I love Tiger Woods. I think he's a great golfer, one of the best of all time, but I have a head cover of a tiger not for him. It's because that is my Chinese zodiac. And for my astrology people, I am an Aries with Capricorn, moon, and rising, I think. I don't know what that means, I just know that's what I am. Question number 4 is, are you in school and what school did you go to? I have graduated from my undergrad. I am not currently in school. I went to Babson College in Wellesley, Massachusetts. It's about 30 minutes from downtown Boston. The follow-up to that is usually, what did you study? I studied business. Babson is actually a business school, so it's a small college where everyone graduates with a Bachelor's of Science, a BS degree in business administrations and management. And then within that, I concentrated in economics and finance. That is not what I do for a living, but that is what I studied. Continuing on, question number 6 is, did you play golf in college? This is probably my second most asked question behind where I'm from, is did I play golf in college? The answer to that is no. When I was in high school, I thought about playing NCAA. I actually created a little golf recruiting video for myself, so I've been editing videos for a long time for no professional reason. I made a whole recruiting video. I had all of my tournament scores and everything, and I did get accepted to a few NCAA Division III schools. I wanted to go to a small school. I didn't have to sit in a lecture hall of 400 people. I only pretty much applied to smaller colleges, NCAA Division III schools, and I was debating between going to play golf and not. I ended up going to Babson because I liked the program the most. While I was a student there, they didn't have a women's NCAA team. They had a men's team. And I brought this up to athletics. There was this whole thing. Either way, they have a women's team now, like 2 years after I graduate. So I'm really happy for the future graduates of Babson that we now have a women's NCAA team, but unfortunately didn't have one while I was there. So I did not play NCAA college golf. If I did, I would probably be a lot better of a golfer, but I'm not one to regret things like that because I would be a completely different person. I would have studied at different schools, different professor, different friend group, different people I'm surrounded by. I just think there's no reason to go back and say if I something because so many factors go into who I am today, and I would be a completely different person. Question number 7. We have moved into the golf questions. You see my smooth transition there? Number 7 is, when did I start playing golf? I started playing golf when I was 10 years old. The first club that I ever hit, and the only club I hit for the first few weeks, is driver. So for parents out there who have little kids who are starting to play golf, usually people recommend you start with like a pitching wedge or an iron. It's easier to hit. I would say, this is what happened with me, was start with the driver. It is the most fun. You want to just tee it up and hit it like it's a baseball bat. And for me, it took a while to get used to it, but it's built up the confidence in my driver that is like ingrained in the back of my head. I don't even think about it. It is my favorite golf club to hit. I will always hit driver as long as there's not a hazard exactly where my driver distance is. I am comfortable hitting my driver. People are shocked by this. I would rather hit driver than 3-wood. It's not like a safer approach off the tee for me. Next question, number 8, is who taught you to golf? Do you have a coach? Who is your coach? A family friend taught me to golf. He will be watching this video, so thank you for teaching me to play golf. I don't have a dedicated coach. When I was younger, I went to a few week-long, 2-week-long summer camps for a few years as a junior, and then I had a coach in high school when I was like playing in OFSA, the Ontario something School Association Athletics. I don't know what it stands for. It stands for this. The OFSA tournament, it's like the provincial tournament. So during that time I had a coach, but I don't have a dedicated coach. I've just had individual lessons dispersed, a few camps when I was younger, and high school was probably the last time I had a real coach. Number 9 is what is your home course? I get asked this a lot when I'm on the golf course and I get paired up with strangers. For me, I didn't have like a home course. I used to live pretty close to Don Valley, so I would play that course quite a lot, or I would play, whatever course was nearby that's public and not $400 around. I feel like even if I had a home course, I would get bored of playing the same course all the time, Number 10, did you play competitive golf? The answer to that is yes. When I was a teenager, so between 12 and 14, I played in the CJGA quite often. And then when I got into high school, I stopped playing outside of school. And so it was a lot less competitive when you play with your school and not the CJGA. CJGA is the Canadian Junior Golf Association. Yes, I competed when I was a teenager, and then I competed less in high school, and then I stopped competing after high school. This is kind of like a follow-up to the previous one. Number 11 is why did you stop competing? For me, it got to a point where it was not enjoyable to me anymore. And it's hard for me to say this because I am like now playing golf on the internet and like literally filming golf. And now I have reintroduced this passion into my life. I don't want to go too much into detail about that. All right, I want this to be an uplifting video though, so let's continue with possibly my other very frequently asked question is number 12, what is your handicap? I tell people my handicap now is about a 10. I don't have an official handicap, but I play from the white tees pretty much exclusively. And on an average golf course, I shoot around an 82, 83. And if I'm playing well that day, then 80 or even high 70s. If I'm playing not super well, but I'm not going to be mad about it, it's probably an 85, 86. And then if I'm in the high 80s, people playing with me will know I'm not having a good day. If you've watched my Thailand videos, you will realize a few of those rounds I did shoot in the higher 80s, and that's because those golf courses are not your easiest. Their slopes are like 140, and especially for women, they are quite challenging. So I wasn't mad about those courses. I just wanted to break 90 on my first try. But generally speaking, if I'm in the low 80s, I'm okay. If I'm in the high 80s, probably not a great day for me. All right, number 13 is how long do you hit your driver? On a good shot, I never really swing hard at the driver, so when I hit the middle of the club face on my drive, it's usually between 205 to 210 carry, and then depending on the golf course conditions, it will either stay in place or roll out to up to 20 yards, I want to say. I do have a lot of spin on my drive. That's something I'm trying to work on so I can gain more distance. It really depends on the golf course conditions, but carry 205 to 210 currently. Next question, number 14, is what golf clubs do you use? I have made quite a few videos on the exact specifications of the golf clubs I have. I have the full line of Gen 4 PXG golf clubs, so go ahead and check out those videos if you are interested in seeing exactly what golf clubs I use. Number 15, what golf ball do you use? I am not loyal to any golf ball brand or golf balls specifically. I have a collection of golf balls from years of playing golf on and off because of the winters here. So I just have a bunch of golf balls and I just use what I find. If I am buying new golf balls, I prefer the softer Callaways, the Chrome Softs, or just softer golf balls in general. I find that I don't have a super fast swing speed. Like I am, 5'2", 100 pounds. Like I don't need a super stiff ball. It doesn't actually help me in any way in my golf game. So as long as it's a good condition, softer golf ball, I generally am okay with it. I don't see too much of a difference. If it's in bad condition, then I will notice a difference, especially in shorter shots. Number 16 is, where do I get my golf clothes? Now, only women have asked me this question, but I would suggest for men and women and cross genders, check out Uniqlo. They have some really good golf clothes. They've been sponsoring some professional players as well. So they have pretty good affordable golf clothes options. And then I have a few things from Lululemon. Those are obviously a lot more expensive, but they have been doing a lot of sales with We Made Too Much. And then a lot of my shirts are just from different clubhouses. Like if I played a golf course and then I check out their pro shop and they have a shirt in my size that I like. Kind of from all over the place. I have a few shirts so we used to go to the Niagara outlet and there's a big like Tommy Hilfiger there. So I do have some shirts from like 7 years ago. Those are pretty good polo shirts. They're not super like sweat wicking. They've come up with better fabrics, but because they are all cotton, they don't smell. So those are a good option. Yeah, I kind of just shop around. Number 17, the final question in the golf category is, do your parents play golf? My dad used to play golf. He started golf when I started golf, so he wasn't, really good, but he got really hooked on it. All of his friends started playing golf. It was just like, your 40, 50-year-old men's sport. And he got really into it, and it was great because I could play with him and he could show off to all of his friends, like, look, my daughter actually golfs with me. Don't you wish that was you? My mom doesn't play golf. If you watch my Mexico vlog, she did hit a putt. That's about as much of golf as she's played. Mini putt. Let's move on to the travel section, starting off with number 18, which is, what is your favorite place you visited? For me, it's hard to pick. I understand that favorite means one, but I don't know if I have one favorite because they're good for different things. So my favorite place that I've pseudo lived in is Sevilla. I just think it's a beautiful city, beautiful culture. I love that everyone is just relaxed. I love that they don't prioritize stress and always having to be somewhere as this like idealized lifestyle. They prioritize family, friends, and just being happy. And I think that's something that we should do here in North America. In terms of just visiting, one of the most beautiful places I've been is southern Portugal, Porto specifically, the rock formations. I went on a 5-hour hike and I brought my friend with me. She was not ready for the 5 hours, but it was so much fun. Another option is all of the mountain range countries. So love New Zealand. New Zealand is probably my favorite country. Followed up closely with Banff National Park in Canada. So gorgeous. Norway, also gorgeous mountain ranges. This is basically a trend. I've never been to Switzerland, but I'll probably love it because it's a similar vibe to Banff, New Zealand, where you have these natural forming mountains. You feel like you're in nature and you just feel peaceful and insignificant at the same time. It also makes you feel grateful that you exist at all, All right, that was getting a little philosophical. Let's move on. Number 19, where do you want to go next? I don't want to jinx it because every time I tell someone where I want to go next, I don't end up going there or something happens. I would love to visit South America. I've never been to South America. I think there are so many beautiful cultures. I love their music, their food, their people. I'm trying to learn Spanish, so that's also a good thing. So definitely South America. Again, Switzerland, I've mentioned. I think I would love it there. I heard it's really expensive, but it's really pretty. So we will see. I don't know where I want to go next. Somewhere that's not negative 30 degrees outside. Definitely somewhere where I can play golf in possibly not a winter jacket. Number 20, what is your favorite cuisine? Well, obviously, my favorite cuisine is Chinese food, specifically hot pot and Sichuan food. I love a good spicy food. I love noodles. I love wontons. I love dumplings. Chinese food is number one. Recently, I've discovered that I really like Vietnamese food, Viet food, mostly because they use so many fresh herbs, and fresh herbs tied in with various rice dishes, noodles, porks. That's just like perfect to me. And so, yeah, I have to say Viet food probably a close second. All right, final category, let's get into the YouTube questions. I have had people ask me how I film on the golf course and if I have other people helping me. I want to just clarify, I have never held up pace of play. This seems to be something people assume of YouTubers, but for me, it is just my tripod and my camera and myself. While someone else is hitting, I will set my camera up right behind. My boyfriend honestly doesn't care anymore if I set up while he's hitting. So oftentimes he'll hit first on the tee box and I'll be setting up my camera, and it's literally one click and then I do my regular routine, pre-shot routine, hit the ball, and then I come back, click again, and I pick up my tripod and I move on to the next shot. It honestly takes maximum 2 seconds extra for me to click the button. I don't even adjust anything. I set it on auto for videotaping to autofocus on me, and if it doesn't focus, then I lose that clip, you know? And then I just click the button and I start golfing, I come back, I click the button. That is literally it. Number 22 is what software do I use to edit? And specifically, I get asked a lot how I get the shot tracers. So I use Final Cut Pro to edit. I recently made the purchase of Final Cut Pro. It is a one-time purchase, not a subscription, which I love. Previous to that, I was using iMovie, but a lot of functions there are quite limited, so it's nice to have Final Cut now. And then for Shot Tracer, I actually use an app called Shot Tracer Pro. And I purchased the computer version, the desktop version, so that I can upload multiple shots and it'll calibrate all of them at once. Whereas there is a phone app version that is a lot cheaper, but you have to do one shot at a time. It's not great. And for me to do a video, I have to do like 30 plus shots. And so that just is not gonna work for me. Yeah, I use an app called Shot Tracer Pro, and for editing, I use Final Cut Pro. And final question is, why YouTube? I have always loved videography, photography, editing. I have no professional training in any of those. Like I said, I studied business and finance, but it's just always been this like side interest of mine. My dad also used to love photography, and again, neither of us are like professionally trained, but now we have YouTube Academy, we have everything out there, all these resources, great YouTubers explaining everything down to the detail for you. And so it's a great learning opportunity for me. It's a way for me to be creative, to see the world from literally a different lens that's not my glasses. Yeah, I just think it's a great way for me to express my creativity, to be productive, to put something out in the world that is hopefully helpful, informative, or at least enjoyable to you guys. That's basically my goal with the YouTube videos that I make. So yeah, that is why I've been thinking about YouTube for a long time. I thought about it in high school. I thought about it when I was studying abroad. I thought this would be a great opportunity, but I just didn't do it because there were so many questions. And then I just had an epiphany and I was like, you know what? Questions will come up no matter what, but I'm gonna take the step that I know for sure. And if I know one step, I will just take that step. And if I don't know the next step, I'll just keep taking that step until I know the next step. So we don't have to have everything figured out to start something. Yeah, if my dad was here, I think he would really enjoy my videos, and I think he would encourage me to keep going, even though this is not your conventional thing. And there you have it, 23 frequently asked questions about me. Hopefully you now know me a lot better. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you are still watching this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button for me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I have one bonus question for those of you who are still sticking around, and that is, what is my favorite golf course I have played to date? I honestly haven't played a lot of the famous golf courses. Of the golf courses I have played so far in my life, my favorite is the New South Wales golf course in Australia. There is a special story. That is the golf course. I played with my dad when I was like 14, 15. Anyways, that's my favorite golf course so far. I've played some great golf courses. A few of the ones in Thailand are definitely up there on the list because of the memory and the location and just the beautiful golf course. That one has to be my favorite so far. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!